The alien Jolo legions had been expelled from the planet thanks to Elise's intellect and Daniel's courage. Yet the darkness had not dissipated. With the aliens gone, Valerian and his vampire army began to regain strength against humanity. The alliance had crumbled, and vampires emerged from the shadows again. Daniel knew it was time for revenge against Valerian, who had killed his family. After Valerian's defeat, humanity celebrated what they believed was the end of the vampire threat. But Elise still had a nagging question in her mind. Could such a powerful being as Valerian have left no heir behind? In her research on vampires, Elise had found little information about Valerian's family. However, a name whispered among the shadows remained: Lilith. Lilith was Valerian's only child. She had been hidden away since her birth and was known as a mythical figure among vampires. Stories told that Lilith was more powerful than her father. When Valerian fell, it was said that Lilith had awakened from her slumber and sought revenge for her father's death. But where had she been all this time? As rumors spread of Lilith's emergence, the vampire and human worlds began to tremble once more. And in a society torn between vampires and humans, fashion became a weapon. The rise of Lilith, the dark fashion icon. Through dark magic, Lilith had been made nearly as powerful as her father. However, Valerian had hidden her underground to protect her from humans and enemies. Lilith had been forced to watch her father's war, but now he was gone. She was ready to emerge, not only to take revenge for her father but also to establish her own dark dominion. The moment Lilith sensed her father's death, she stepped out of her underground refuge. Valerian's absence had granted her freedom. But she also felt the power he had bequeathed her. Lilith was no longer alone. Her father's dark energy had passed to her, making her as powerful as an entire army. Unlike her father, Lilith was smarter and more patient. Instead of appearing suddenly and attacking humans, she began to watch the world from the shadows. As people celebrated Valerian's death, Lilith observed their every move. She admired Elise and Daniel's success while also learning their weaknesses. Elise had started to feel that vampires had not completely disappeared after Valerian's death. The world had once again been illuminated by sunlight, freeing humanity from the dark threat. But one thing remained unchanged: Lilith. The sole heir of Valerian, she roamed silently among humans, empowered by the legacy of her father. The power Lilith possessed was far beyond that of an ordinary vampire. Thanks to her father's dark magic, she had gained immunity to the sun. Now, she was as free during the day as she was at night. Lilith's beauty was blended with an allure that surpassed human perception. Anyone who looked into her eyes could see traces of dark magic in their depths, inciting a desire to approach rather than flee. Her eyes were like a mix of rich midnight blue and deep purple, mysterious and hypnotic, as if she could read souls with a mere glance. Her skin was incredibly smooth and pale, but this pallor did not give her a lifeless appearance. Instead, it endowed her with an ethereal glow. Under the light, a pearl-like radiance attracted people to her, creating an unnatural brilliance. Her facial features were sharp and elegant. When combined with her long, arched eyebrows and captivatingly thin lips, her face seemed to be the most perfect work of a sculptor. Lilith's hair flowed like a silky veil reminiscent of the Black Night. Long, wavy locks cascaded down her shoulders, flowing like a dark river with each step, seemingly affecting the air around her. This lustrous hair symbolized her extraordinary existence. It gave off a sense of timelessness that defied the passage of time. But perhaps her most striking feature was her posture. Lilith commanded attention not only with her physical beauty but also with an innate grandeur that radiated from her. Every movement was graceful, every glance contained a power that could dominate a room. It was as if her mere presence could conquer a space and compel people to bow to her will. Lilith's beauty reflected the perfection granted by immortality, with every breath capable of enchanting those around her. Yet, for many long years, Lilith decided to hide her powers. Instead of dreaming of conquering the world, she devised a subtler plan. She would blend among humans, moving like an invisible shadow. Thus, she created a new identity, a fashion icon. Captivated by the allure of the modern world, Lilith began to be recognized as a designer known as Lilith Valentina over the years. After Valerian's demise, Lilith chose to live among people instead of ruling over them. She had emerged from the underground world where she had hidden for centuries and quietly infiltrated the modern world. Thanks to her immortality in youth, she drew everyone's attention with her beauty. However, no one knew who she truly was. The world now knew her as Lilith Valentina, a world-famous fashion designer. Her designs reflected a dark elegance. She adapted gothic details, black tones, and mysterious textures from ancient times to the modern world. People were enchanted by this new style. As Lilith rose from the shadows to the peak of the fashion world, she decided to enjoy this new life instead of seeking revenge for her father. However, this new life did not allow her to completely sever ties with her dark past. She still harbored the desire for vengeance for her father's death. Although the names Daniel and Elise had been forgotten by people, Lilith had not forgotten them. One day, the time for reckoning would come, but until then, she would wait. Lilith's fashion career rapidly reached its zenith. The Gothic elements present in her designs revolutionized the fashion world. A color palette of black, deep reds, and hues reminiscent of night became the signature of her collections. People sensed that these designs held more than mere aesthetics, they contained meaning and depth. Lilith was a master at manipulating emotions, captivating her audience with every collection. But Lilith's rise in the fashion world had not gone unnoticed. When Elise saw Lilith's name in a magazine, a strange feeling washed over her. Her instinct sparked, suggesting that Lilith Valentina could be the ancient vampire. Elise thought the vampire root had been eradicated, but Lilith's existence remained a threat.